Yo Rana, and welcome to FM Tahiti. I hope you're doing well. In this episode, we're going back to some league games. Now we're not playing any international matches for a little bit. I'm just going to show you just what's happened in the meantime, where we are kind of in the league and so on. So in the league, there's competitions. We're 6th. We've played 13 games, got 21 points. 8 behind first place, 7 behind second. So we're a little bit off the pace. It is the start of December. We've got about 4 or 5 games this month, so we could make a bit of a push. But to be honest, I'm not convinced we've got it in us at this moment. We might miss out on the Euro League this season. If we look at the schedule, though, we've hit a vein of form. So I think in the last video, we lost. Like the last league video, we lost against the Humpbacks. Since then, we've played Motu 1, where we won 4-2. So this is a good streak, generally. Spearling, Wallace getting a break, and Kerr. We've been giving Wallace and Kerr a bit of a run, and they've kind of rewarded us for it. We won 3-0 against Puka Puka Typhoons in the Mutiny Trophy with Chidi, Wallace, and Spearling. Managed to beat the Sky Bright. So this is the match that happened in between the 2 international matches in the last episode, in the 150th one. Again, Wallace popping up there. We beat Pete 3-1. So Wallace again getting a brace. And then we beat Mopa 4-1 with Manuel getting a brace for it. And Wallace still popping up with a goal. So he's got a good scoring streak, really. So all the way back to kind of the middle of October. So I think we're going to play him. We'll probably play Meow and Maupti in this one, because these are the 2 relegated teams, and this is going to be, for me, this will be my tipping point. If we don't get maximum points from these 2 teams, then I might start looking at our tactic again, because even though we've had this good streak against some stronger teams, or more established teams like the Sky Brights, it feels a little bit shaky. And because our tactic in the international matches worked reasonably well, I'm feeling a bit more confident about making a kind of tactical change. In fact, this whole version of FM's made me a bit more confident about tactics. Well, talk about that in a second. So we're against Meow. They're down in 12th. We should be able to beat them, but we'll have to see. No one else on the bench I really want to bring in, or off the bench I want to bring in. We'll go with this. It's that weird kind of situation. We've had a good run. I'm still not convinced by the way we've been playing. We'll see. Time to get the run going, and obviously they ignore us, because why would they pay attention to us? Could be clinical, blah blah blah. There are a few fans. Not exactly sell out, and that's something I need to do as well. I don't think I've heard anything about the stadium move for a bit. So after this match, I'll go and have a look and see. Kerr forcing a save. Wallace is there to pick up the loose ball. Yes, this version of FM for tactics has been one of my favourites. Oh, penalty. On handball, fair enough. It happens. Well, Mampty that we're playing next have taken the lead against the Humpbacks. Oh, Smith saved it. That's some cheeky passing around at the back then as well, rather than just clearing it. Cocky. Ray's past his man, Manuel. Nah. I feel a bit bad for Manuel because I didn't call him up to the international side. Kerr picks up the loose ball, places it exactly where he needs to. But yeah, this version of FM19 with the tactics creator, the styles, the presets and things like that, the in transition, out transition, in possession even, transition, out of possession, I should say. I think that's made it much more intuitive. I think before, the mistake a lot of people made was they looked at the shape of the tactic and was like, oh, that's my shape. But actually, because of all the different roles, that's not the shape, and it's not showing you what's happening when you've not got the ball or when you're trying to get it back and so on. So it feels much more intuitive to me, and it's much better than, if you remember the old slider system from versions in the past, it is much, much better than that. Especially in terms of the kind of the common sense realism around it. On Spearling, interesting. Manuel with a bit of a rocket. Tapas Jack is playing for Skybrights. Just in the match updates there. Come on, clear it out, then get him on the counter. Pushing the back a bit. Wallace just looked like he's getting ready to go through the back of him. Stop it. Good save. It's sad he managed to get through it all, but... Plus, I feel like we're hanging on a little bit now. They've come back into it in the last 10 minutes. Okay, made it to half time. Okay. Still room for improvement, definitely. Anyone we want to bring on just yet? Yeah. Give him a chance. I think I might take Chidi off and give Chidi a bit of a rest because he's not been prolific. I'll show you his record at the end of this match as well. Kerr managing to get that through. Sabua getting the goal from the knockdown by Chidi. Just as I criticised Chidi, he managed to put the assist in, of course. Kerr just did well to stay on his feet. Yeah, I don't think Chidi can really claim that as a purposeful assist. He was just heading it into the box, hoping it was going towards the goal. 2-0's a little bit more comfortable there. Outdoing is on possession. What's going on? Let's get some subs in then. Renard, Kaiser, and yeah, let's bring on Kalai for Chidi. There's all of them, so we're a bit stuffed if anything goes wrong, but we'll live with it. Go on, Kerr. Oh, as if Stroud couldn't put that one away. A little bit shocking. I mean, he is a defender. So let's see if we can change. For some reason, it keeps going back to latest events. We're not sure what is the league table. So we've moved up to 5th with this as it stands. Still off the pace, but Renard gets it in. Kerr makes it in as well. He's good in that kind of edge of the box sort of predator role. I'm not going to say he's Paul Scholes, but he is the Polynesian Paul Scholes. Which makes sense when you consider the red cards he's had in the past in the season as well. So brace for Kerr, nothing for Wallace yet. This is the end of his streak. He's camera shy. Oh, I get it to Wallace. No, it's not going anywhere near Wallace. I think that's that, isn't it? So we outplayed them. They are one of the promoted teams there, so this is the... Alongside map 2 we're going to play next, these should be the easiest matches we have this season, technically. So we're 5th, 24 points after 14. Let's go back to the club facilities news. Still searching for the sites. That's where it was in the pre-season. Still looking for somewhere to put this seater. As I mentioned, this all-seater, this 5k all-seater capacity stadium. I think I mentioned right at the start of the season, the island's not very big. You can either put it at one end of the island, the other end, or in the middle. And considering there's already a stadium on the island, that only actually really gives you 2 places, because it's just a landing strip, more or less. So, that's interesting. Let's have a look at... Oh, Chidi's not on here. He was the key player until we signed Ahmed Smith. So, Lukman, Chidi. his determination's gone down. I got a coaching report saying the personality of the squad was having a negative effect on him. I'm not quite sure why. Generally, the personality of the squad's not too bad. He has got 7 goals in 16 appearances across all senior competitions. 3 in the Mutiny of Pride and 4 in the Polynesian Premiership. That's not really that prolific. But actually, if we look back at last season, he only got 6 in the league. Actually, he got 25 overall, but 10 of those were in the OCL, where we were playing against really weak competition, and 9 were in the Cup. Again, also like in the Mutiny Trophy, not great. It's actually against other competitive teams, he's not actually that good. I mean, he's got potential, but he's not currently that good. Let's make this change. We've been too sentimental. Chitty Bang has not been banging him in. Let's get Kalai on. He's worth more. He's got fewer goals, but he's only got half the league goals in much fewer appearances. So we'll give him a go. I'll come back in a second or two for the second match. Okay, so we're back now for the match against Maupti. That's their 15th in the league after the last. There we go. Let's go on the profile and actually see it. So they're down at the bottom with only 7 points. I think we beat them in the opener fairly convincingly. Let's have a look. 6-1. Yeah, that was with a few players missing as well. We managed to beat them. So let's see how we do now. Just generally in terms of the table as well, Marquesas Society, who were first for quite a while, have dropped off now, and the kind of natural order has established itself. Chance, Humpbacks, Moria, Huahine, Bora Bora, and Taha. These are the kind of, they're the top half of the table, really. We're just hanging out with them for a bit. So we've made the decision to drop Chidi to the bench and see if he'll be more of an impact player for us. Moreau is injured, so let's just bring on Hewitt, and that should be it. So in that, just after the last match, realising that Chidi's not basically much of a goal scorer for us in the league, at least in the Premiership. They've got Boscalgi. Has made me think maybe I need to reassess the squad generally. So one of the things I might do today when I've got time, and I might include this for the next video, is on Dictate the Game, there's a writer called FM Vars, and he does the Moneyball series. But what he also does is he kind of analyses his squad using the attributes and spreadsheets and things like that. And he's got a spreadsheet you can actually download. And what I might do is use that downloadable spreadsheet to assess the strength of my squad. So it looks at their kind of attributes for the roles they're playing, gives you a kind of score. Go on, Wallace. He's almost through. It was a good move generally. He was almost there. So it gives you like a rating for how good your players are. Gives you an idea if there are any other positions you can maybe train them into. And get a little bit more kind of utility out of the player that way. And it gives you any warnings for kind of like aging players or players who are on contracts who aren't really as valuable as it could be. So I might have a look at that just to try and challenge the kind of biases you get. So when you're playing a long-term game and you're familiar with the players, you get biases. You get favourites. You get players you want to play just because you like them. So Tamangara, for example, probably isn't gone Kerr. Tamangara's not the best striker out there, but because he scored some memorable goals for me, I remember him as a goal scorer. And actually, again, we'll look at him at the end of this match. He's not that prolific. He's not terrible, but I don't think he's done much more than 10 goals a season. And again, that's not terrible for a team our size, but it's not Yanin territory. It's not Gerrard territory. So we might reassess the squad a little bit, because I think there are some players who are good, who we value and we rate, rightly so. I think there may be a couple that we're being a little bit kind to. But actually, if we need to make the next step, we're probably going to have to be a bit mean and start culling a few players. We can win this if we carry on. I mean, we should have done already by now. Clyde's a little unsharp. He's lacking match sharpness would be the way to do that one, actually. Match stats wise, 61 possessions, they're 30, 13 shots, they're 3. If we don't get a goal, then I think that would be a little bit unlucky. Oh man, well, back to Kerr. Kerr's really just digging out shots from all over the pitch, isn't he? If we win this match, we're not going to go up a position or anything like that. Only if we win, we'll be on 27 points. We'll still be behind Moria in this look at a game in hand, but at least we're closing that kind of gap a little bit. Not on first and second though, they're still roaring ahead. Bond goes long. I think I might bring on Chidi and see if he'll work as an impact sub instead. Yeah, let's make some subs. So let's bring on Renard for Manuel and Chidi for Kalai. I don't really want to bring anyone else on. I'll just be making a sub for the sake of making a sub there. No, nobody's particularly tired or performing particularly poorly that they need bringing off. They're not necessarily doing amazingly well either, but they're not ruining things completely. Our team might be holding on for a draw by the looks of it. Bring on Twig, a lamb. Oops, is that wrong? It makes no real difference, but come on. And a 0-0 draw. I think we deserve to win it. We didn't necessarily have a huge amount of good chances. But look, one clear-cut 4-half chance. And again, I don't really trust this as a statistic, but we'll see. See where we are because of that. We should have won that. Okay, that Renard's lost confidence. We should have won that. So 25 points after 15 games. It's not fantastic. We're past the halfway mark now as well. So there's only 28 games in the season. So we are past that. So if we, I don't know, if we were kind and doubled our scores, let's predict we're going to finish on a 50. Did 50 normally get people? 50's down here. 50's worse than what we got last season. So we're off the pace by our own standards from last season. Never mind. Still got an unbeaten record. So look at the schedule. Our run looks okay. It's just making a fact of this bad run we had here. But I did say I was going to look at Tamangaro. So go down here. Tamangaro. Good finishing and all that. He has no goals this season, but he's barely played. I might start trying to give him a bit of a run. Maybe I'll give him a run instead of Kalai. Kalai's on a goal drought, even though he's better than Chidi, and Chidi's not been particularly prolific. But if we look at the history for him as well, last season he got 12. Season before that he got 10. 12 is the most league goals he's ever had in a season. And he scored about 18 overall, but he supplemented that with a few in the cup. So again, Tamangaro is not fantastic. So I think maybe we need to invest up front. Maybe this is where we're going wrong. Wallace is alright. Look at Wallace's just his record this season, but actually no, again, 12 goals. 12 for Wallace, 12 for Tamangaro as a high. Chabert, who we've not really given much time to, he's got 17 as a high, but this is back in the development gold. That's a different. We're not going to use that as a marker of how well he's done. Kalai hasn't played long for us. Again, 13 in the championship years and years ago. Not prolific. Chidi, 16 when we were in the championship. In fact, not even when we were in the championship, when he was playing for Mayo in the championship. He's only scored 10 goals for us. He scored more in that one season for them than he ever has for us in the league. So actually, our strikers are rubbish. We've been really doing well considering that they're not that good. But Tahiti, he can play up front. There's a ball-winning midfielder, apparently. Nah, not prolific either. Anyone in our under-23s? We have 2 keepers. Awesome. Yeah, I'm going to end there. I might look for a striker to see if we can bring in an option and just freshen things up, actually. Because that's a bit worrying if you look at the fact that we've had a lot of strikers for more than one season, a couple of seasons for most of them, so they've had a chance to bed in, apart from Kalai. And they're not getting more than about 12 league goals. That's not really enough for what we want to do. I'm going to have a look at that. And I might use that spreadsheet I mentioned from FM Vars. You can download it as well. If you go to Dictate the Game, click on him, you can see his Twitter, and he's got his link on the Twitter as well for that. And I think his Twitter handle is just FM Vars. So yeah, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks very much for watching, as always.